This is training in how to scan documents into the Paris Patient Registration and Information System. This is an example of using a ScanSnap IX500 scanner, which is about $450. It creates PDF files. Any scanner that creates PDF files is going to work fine. You can get much higher speed scanners than this, and of course probably slower ones. You can also import into Paris images, JPEG files. You can either take a picture with your iPhone, or you can maybe from a device like a X-ray machine that's in dental or medical or some other kind of medical device that creates, takes images or X-rays or something else. If it can export to a JPEG, you can load those directly into Paris as well. So that gives you several options. But what you do is you take the piece of paper. First thing we're going to do is the simple case where it's just a dental form that you're using at your clinic, and you've got the Paris patient label on the dental form. You just put it in there and press scan. Now, if it has the Paris patient label on the form, Paris is able to automatically connect that to a patient. If it's just a piece of paper that does not have anything on it, then it needs to have the patient name so that we can manually connect it. And I'll show you that in the other videos. The manually connecting just takes a few seconds, so it's not a big liability, but this just does it so quickly that it is a real advantage. If you can design your forms so they have room for the Paris patient shipping label, that also gives you all the nice readable information about the patient as well. All right, so you're able to put in one patient at a time. As soon as that patient is through, you just put in the next patient. You can see it's real quick. If you have a relatively fast laptop or desktop, this can be very quick to scan in the forms. Notice I'm doing one patient at a time. One form is one patient. It does do the front and the back of each form. So all the pages that are put through it, this particular scanner is automatically making sure if it needs to scan the back. So it's that quick. Now, if you have pages of a different size, let's imagine that we have a prescription. So prescriptions work fine. If you have the patient's name on it, that works fine. You can just put it in the system. Press this. It figures out the size of the paper, figures out there's nothing on the back, and it's loaded, it's created the PDF. In step 2, you'll see how to actually import it into the system. Now, if you have this piece of paper with that person's medical record that has a Paris label on it, you can scan them both at the same time, and then it will, the system will use the patient label in order to match it with the file. So you don't have to do any manual matching. Again, the manual matching takes just a few seconds on each page usually, but it does take more time. So if you're doing thousands of documents a day, it's a real good idea to just have the patient label either on the front or the back of your form. Let's see. So you might have something like a dental X-ray. Now the dental X-ray, if it came with the dental services, takes no time at all, and it does the automatic matching. Now you may have a stack of things that you're scanning, and you pull out the dental X-ray as the next piece of paper, scan that. As long as it has the patient's name on it anywhere on the form, you can do the manual matching. And again, the manual matching just takes a few seconds, so it's not a big drawback, but we do need to be able to identify the patient. Sometimes the name on the thing is a little bit skewed. If you want to rewrite it, that's fine. Later on, we can solve that by doing some phone number matches, some address matches, partial name matches and things like that. If you do get it with the dental services, you just put them together. Now, at your clinic, you may have a whole bunch of different kinds of forms. This is another kind of form. Maybe you didn't know about this ahead of time. Maybe the patient brought it in as a demonstration of some kind of problem that they had. But it has the patient's name on it. So you don't need to do anything special. Just drop it into the system and push this. So you can take paper, you can take forms from anything. If you have a special women's health van or a dental x-ray van or anything else that has its own forms, then just take those forms. You don't need to do anything fancy. You don't need to insist that they put the patient label on their forms. It will require manual matching, but in step 2 you'll see that that is not a big drawback. All right, so that is the step 1, creating PDFs or JPEG files. PDFs are better because you can do the OCR scanning right into the device, which I'm doing here. Speeds up processing on the server slightly, the initial processing, but that's about it. All right.